thanks, guys, again for having Custom Pools by Brian into your home and the availability for your time to kind of let folks know a little bit about how the experience is going with it. Before we get started, if you would, please introduce yourself.
Sure. My name is Chris Kemp, and this is my wife, Lorraine.
All right. Lovely couple. And, again, the blessing of this is just trying to get some folks out there to know what it's like, because you guys are almost halfway through your pool build. So, hopefully right by now that you don't want to see anybody underneath the truck or anything like that. But so let me ask you a question. How did you guys first find out about Custom Pools by Brian?
Sure. It was online. I was doing a lot of Google searching, looking at area pool companies, trying to figure out who to talk to first. And the thing that struck me about Custom Pools by Brian on Google reviews, a 5-star rating. They were literally the only company. You all were literally the only company that had a 5-star rating. And then you have the Google guarantee, which I didn't know what that was at the time. But again, you were the only company who had that. So it really stood out and made me want to call you.
All right. Well, speaking of that, what was your first impression of, the because Custom Pools by Brian is known for an in-home design process and those type things, unlike a lot of other companies. What was your first impression of the Custom Pools by Brian sales design process?
Sure. The first impression was positive. We didn't know what to expect, so we were kind of ready for anything. You let us know that it would be an extended amount of time for the first appointment, which we thought was going to be great, because that meant we would get all of our questions answered. We'd have plenty of time to get into the details, which we wanted. What was your first impression?
Yeah, I really appreciated it. I can't even remember now. We did a couple of other consultations. Yes, consultations. I can't remember if you were first, in the middle, or last. I think either first or in the middle. So then to have those other consultations, it was kind of like wah wah with the other groups. So really appreciated the time that we spent together.
Well, thank you. And did you guys, the question has been, like you brought up, the timing of the first appointment, because it can go wrong. Did you guys think that the in-home design aspect took too much time, or was it worth the time for you guys to be a part of the whole design process?
Yeah, it was totally worth it. And I think the pleasant surprise part of it was that we literally did design in the moment. And so, looking at the laptop together, measuring certain things in the yard together, and then watching it come together on the computer screen, to where within that single appointment, we went from an idea to actually, here's what it could look like. That was very valuable.
Yeah, we created it together, unlike with the other consultations where they asked us questions and then they would get back to us on what they thought we wanted. And it was really kind of like a one option sort of thing. So yeah, this was
better. How surprised were you around the turnaround time that it took from getting the design, the first appointment, to getting a price for your pool project?
Yeah, that was quick as well. So I think that's probably the best way to think about it is you over-invest in that first appointment, invest that longer amount of time, but then the turnaround is quicker. Of you see the full idea of what it'll look like, you can adjust on the fly, and then pretty shortly after that you came back with a proposal and numbers, and we could make a decision.
Yeah, I think it was just a few days later, right? It was less than a week.
Yeah, it was very much so.
Yes.
So, how or when did you decide that Custom Pools by Brian was the right company for you guys to proceed with?
Yeah, as Lorraine mentioned, we did talk to some other pool companies. We were trying to, show the right amount of diligence and educate ourselves, and so we purposely took our time. And so we talked to multiple people. We went through the process. We made sure we kind of understood what was going on, and so it started becoming more and more clear of, I think Custom Pools by Brian is going to have the price that we're looking for, the design that we're looking for. As Lorraine said, some of it, there was a delay of even getting that initial design from some of the other companies, and that started to show us that, that wasn't worth waiting for, and we had everything we needed with Custom Pools by Brian.
So, I'm going to ask you and kind of put you on the spot. Don't worry, tell the truth. Okay, just remember this. But what was it like working, with Teddy from the get-go? Did you find, was there any pressure put on you? Did you feel educated? Did you feel, those type things? What was it like working with Teddy?
Teddy is fabulous. Really appreciate Teddy. I appreciate how honest he is. So I knew that he wasn't trying to upsell me on things. He wasn't trying to convince me of anything. He just was very honest and thorough with the process and listened to what we wanted and answered our questions and those kinds of things. So it just felt like he could be trusted. So appreciated that.
And I'll piggyback on that. The very, very first impression, Teddy was quick getting back to me. Easy phone calls, easy scheduling. So that was all helpful, again, as a new pool buyer, not knowing what to expect. And then, all throughout the process of, even after we finished the initial design, we had a couple questions, or, hey, can we flip it? Can we change the design? That was all easy, low friction, low stress. Teddy was very helpful throughout that whole process.
Well, thank you guys. Now, how was the transition to go from Teddy to Brian, or sales, process to the design phase? How was that transition?
Yeah, I would say good, easy. Brian began to communicate early when it became clear of we're ready to move forward. Let's talk about the next step. Brian was very communicative in his emails and texts, and that part was easy as well, of asking those initial questions specific to the build. That was easy as well. So talking to Brian was great.
So you did have a pre-dig consultation with Brian, and what did you think about Brian?
Yeah, I thought it was awesome. I'm a details guy, and Brian provides details, so that was great. I had a list of questions written down. I had concerns. I had things that I didn't know how they were going to happen. And not only did Brian answer all the questions, he literally handed me a sheet of paper saying, here's the exact sequence of events from beginning to end. Here you go. That helped me a lot. What was your impression?
Yeah, same.
All right. Yeah. Well, Custom Pool by Brian are known for their customer experience, and through communication and expectations. You're halfway through. How are they doing? How are we doing?
Yeah, it is what you guys said it would be. Each part of the process has been well run, well organized. I will say this, as expected, there's questions along the way. So each crew shows up and you think, oh, I wonder what they're going to do, or they start working and you say, oh, okay, is that in line with what we thought? And so 3 times in a row, I texted Brian with a question, and all 3 times he said, I'm actually here on your property. Come outside and let's chat about it. That was perfect. So perfect timing. It made all the Q&A every single day that much simpler.
It's been lightning fast. So I don't know. Are we 2 weeks into it?
Yeah, we're about 2 weeks in.
Yeah,
we're about halfway done.
And every single day there's been activity and progress. So.
And now that doesn't happen all the time. It's just been a blessing that the weather's been right, the time's been right, those type things. But with your project halfway through, has there been any time when you thought that you might have made the wrong decision, or concerned about quality or anything such as that?
Yeah, I would say no is the short answer. There's been a couple times where we questioned ourselves on, we made this decision up front, I wonder if we could change it, or I wonder if Brian could offer us an option. And it's always been an open conversation of, what are the options, what could we do? And Brian's been super helpful. Brian told us one day, he's kept a tally, he's built over 2,000 pools. And so he's got a story for everything of, here's what I've done, here's what I've seen, here's what we can do. That's been invaluable.
Good. Has there been anything from the very first contact that you felt that, that you were, undereducated or misled or misinformed or anything such as that?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah. And, to go back to one of the earlier questions, with our very first visit with Teddy, was an education session of terminology. This is what coping is. This is what decking is. And so that armed us with the right words to be able to ask the right questions, understand what was being told to us. And so that helped get us off on the right foot.
Great. So at this point, because again, we wanted to bring this, and thank you so much for letting Custom Pools by Brian. We appreciate your business. We appreciate, working with you guys. You guys are great to work with. But at this point, halfway through construction, because there's a lot of time in construction where things can go wrong or things can go bad, from there, what would you guys say to anyone who might be looking to do a backyard project and considering Custom Pools by Brian to do that?
100%, 110% do it. I think that one of the things that I've really enjoyed as well, we also renovated the inside of our home a few years ago. And so working with that project manager and the teams that would come in, it's great to know that what Custom Pools by Brian has is their contractors and folks coming in, they are top notch at what they do. Like, everything is done with excellence. We don't have to look over someone's shoulder. We don't have to mention to Brian, oh, this looks crooked, or having a concern about anything. Everyone who's coming into our backyard is professional, and they are true craftsmen. So that's been just fantastic. It's been amazing to watch how quick they work and the work that they're doing.
Well, I can't thank you guys enough for the trust that you've put in to me and to Brian and Custom Pools by Brian. It means the world to me. For a long time, I tell everyone that we build forever pools, but we make raving fans, from that standpoint. And so what I'm hearing from you guys is, looks like that at least from now, you're a raving fan. Am I correct?
Absolutely.
That is correct.
Yeah.
And just to piggyback on her answer, anybody who asks, we'll tell them great experience, exactly what we hoped for, and would highly recommend.
Well, thank you guys again for letting Custom Pools by Brian do your project. And thanks for, allowing us to come in and ask these questions, because we're going to be back. We're going to be back when it's all said and done, and we're going to see if you feel the same way. So thanks again. We appreciate you guys, and thank for the opportunity to earn your business. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart.
All right. Thank you. We appreciate it.